Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. We often ask ourselves, why did he appear in my life? What was this person supposed to teach me? Why did it hurt so much? Why was it so painful, so unfair? But almost no one asks themselves, why did I appear in someone else's life? Who did I become for others? What did I set in motion with my presence, my word, my leaving? In a world where everything is connected, you're not just a passerby. You are a program. You launch other people's scripts the same way they launch yours. Sometimes you are the rescuer, sometimes the betrayer, sometimes the one who simply looked someone in the eyes and accidentally touched something important inside them. You don't always know what kind of wave you created, but you create it. We live as if inside other people's films, sometimes in the leading role, sometimes in a brief scene. But for someone, you are a key, a turning point, a trigger, a catalyst, and maybe no one applauds you. Maybe they even hate you. But it was through your presence that another person changed. Maybe you've seen that video where a dying man asks death, "So what is the meaning of life?" "Maybe I didn't live for nothing." "Listen," death answers him. "Do you remember the girl Yana from 5th grade? The redhead?" "Yeah, I remember." "Do you remember how you tripped her? She fell face first into the mud. They bullied her. Yanka the stinker. She couldn't take it and transferred to another school. It was stupid. Kids." "It doesn't matter," death replies. "In that new school she fell in love, got married, gave birth to a son, and raised a great man. And you? You were just a puzzle piece. And that was the meaning of your life." "I don't believe it." "And you don't need to," death says. "You already did what you came to do." Purpose is not always a heroic deed. Sometimes you're simply a turn in the road. Someone else's route begins with something you did. Picture something simple. You are one person, one head, one set of habits, one style of behavior. But now zoom out. You go to work. You talk to colleagues, your boss, the cleaner in the office. You meet friends, parents. You brush past strangers in an elevator, in a cafe, at a gas station, in a store. You said something or you didn't. You just walked by. Now imagine how many different versions of you are living in those people's minds right now. To some, you're reliable. To others, cold. Someone thinks you're a genius. Someone thinks you're a hot-tempered guy it's better not to mess with. To one person, you have heavy energy. To another, you're light in a dark room. You're a caring son and at the same time a tactless customer. You're an ideal friend and someone else's traitor. And all of it at once. Thousands of you, different ones shaped by other people's films, projections, expectations. You're like a mirror where everyone sees their own reflection. People don't see you. They see their projection of you. And that's the main thing you need to understand. You can't control who you become in someone else's head. Sometimes you'll be a lesson, sometimes salvation, sometimes an enemy, even if you were simply standing nearby. The point is not to be liked by everyone. The point is to understand who you truly are. And when you understand this, the world starts reflecting you not through projections, but through truth. You don't always enter someone's life with a smile. Sometimes you come with silence, sometimes with refusal. Sometimes you just disappear, and in that moment, the person suffers. And what does your mind do? It says, "You're bad. You caused pain. You should have stayed, helped, been softer, been better, been..." But here's the truth. You might have been exactly the one who was meant to trigger that pain. Not to destroy, but to wake them up. You could have been the one after whom another person finally started working on themselves. After you left, they cried for real for the first time. For the first time they asked, "Why does it hurt so much? What am I repeating over and over?" You could have been the one who shattered an illusion, the one who didn't save them, so that they finally saved themselves. And yes, it's heavy. It's heavy to know you became someone's breaking point, but you didn't come to break them. You came to start something. A point of pain is a point of growth. Maybe they will never say thank you. Maybe you will remain in their memory as the one who failed them, or the one who didn't come back. But that doesn't cancel your role. You could have been a flash that burned through an old shell and gave birth to a new person. Sometimes you're not needed forever. You're needed precisely for the moment when a person is ready to begin their path alone. In this world, you are not only the hero of your own story, you are a supporting character in hundreds of other lives and every time you play a role. But here is the power. You can choose who you are. You can be the person after whom someone breaks or grows. You can be the one who abandons or the one who holds on to the end. You can be a stranger in a café who says one sentence and changes an entire life. Yes. Even a look can pull a person out of the abyss or push them deeper. And if you've understood that you are not random in other people's worlds, then you are ready to carry responsibility. Not the responsibility to be good for everyone, the responsibility to be real. And being real sometimes means letting go, sometimes telling the truth, sometimes simply leaving without destroying. You can become not just another wound, but a mirror that reflects truth, even if it's uncomfortable, even if the person isn't ready. You can choose not to save, but to awaken. Do you understand what I mean? You are a trigger, but you can also be light. You are someone else's chapter, but you can also be their resolution. You are a choice every day. You walk through life, you meet people. They may look random, but none of them are accidental. Everyone you meet is an exam, on patience, on dignity, on self-worth, on boundaries, on love. A toxic boss is a test of strength and self-respect. An ex-partner who pressured and humiliated you is a test of whether you know how to leave. A random cashier who snapped at you is a test of whether you can refuse to drag someone else's poison into your soul. But you are also an exam. For someone, you are the person after whom the path began. For someone, you are the disappointment that taught them not to trust. For someone, you are the push into action. And for someone else, you are another wall. We are all each other's turns, each other's mirrors, each other's points, and that's not bad. It's a game. A game where each of us tests and is tested. So here's the question. What role do you want to play consciously? Who do you want to be, even when you don't know that someone is absorbing your energy in that moment and drawing conclusions about themselves? Maybe no one will ever tell you, you mattered. You changed my life. But inside you will know, you were not a passerby. You left a trace. And that trace could become a new road, not for you, but for them. We all pass through one another. We leave. We return. We leave marks and learn through other people's shadows. But the main thing is not to forget that you, too, were an important episode in someone's life. Not always gentle, not always comfortable, but key. Thanks for being here on the channel. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone.